Hello and welcome back. I'm back on the kayak right now, and right now we're having the sunrise right over the Osa Peninsula. You can see Tosh is out there, and we're here to catch some fish. So right now we got out here at around 5 in the morning, got everything set up. Now we're on the kayaks. There's just a hint of that sunrise, but it won't happen for a while still. And right now our goal is to try to catch a grouper, just like we tried last time at the start. So there's a good grouper spot right here, and we're just gonna drop some jigs, maybe some bait, to see what's down there. But then we're gonna move on. The goal of the day is to try to catch a fish on a hand line, hopefully something like a rooster fish, but the thing is from a hand line. So after that grouper, what we're probably gonna do is we're gonna go over to that river over there, because it's low tide right now. It's very low tide, and we're just gonna cast some baits in right at the river mouth, because there might be some snook or snapper there. And actually last time we tried that, we ended up leaving with a big old snook. If you haven't watched that yet, please do, right up here. But today we'll be trying to replicate that success, as well as catch a fish on a hand line. It's looking beautiful out here. The water is looking calm, the mountains are looking gorgeous, the entire Golfo Dulce looking really nice, and I'm excited to get going. We've had a lot of good luck out here. There's been a lot of fish in the last few days just in this little area right outside town. I'm launching right out of Puerto Jiménez. That's the town that's right behind me. And yeah, let's see how we do. We're gonna go up to the grouper spot, start dropping jigs. So this is where we're gonna start jigging. Look at my rod, actually. Look at this. This cork was really nice, and then I left it out and all the crabs started eating it, and so now my handle is completely eaten. But you can see the jig I'm going to use right now is little. It's probably half an ounce, and I'm just going to drop down there. And since we are going to go for a grouper, I'm going to just jig the bottom, or I'm going to focus on the bottom. So I'm just going to drop it down and let it sink all the way to the bottom. And there you go, Tosh on the jig. So I think that was his first drop, and he's on.
Nice snapper.
Snapper? Yeah, maybe. So hopefully I got one. Let's see. Ooh, whatever Tosh picked up right now is nice. Let's see, I'm gonna start jigging. Mine's just at the bottom, and I'm just gonna flick it up, let it flutter back down. It's a mackerel. Oh, he snagged a mackerel, huh? Well, there's fish around, and that looks like a pretty decent mackerel. Oh, fish on. Yep. Ooh, this guy's going down. I don't know what this is, but there we go. First drop on the jig as well. Oh, threadfin jack.
Let's keep that as bait.
Keep it as bait? Alright, so we're gonna keep this guy as bait. So right now, 2 drops, and we got that big mackerel over there in Tosh's hand, and this fish. So we're gonna chuck this one in as bait, and look at that nice mackerel. Nice. So we're gonna keep jigging down here, see what else we can pull up. Oh, here's something else. I was just pulling the jig up because I'm gonna turn the kayak around, and oh, is that a mackerel? Yeah, that's a mackerel. That's a mackerel. Just got my drag a little tight here. Yeah, see, there you go. Nice mackerel. This is lunch. This is lunch. And yeah, I mean, mackerel, you don't get them that much off the bottom, but a lot of times you're pulling your jig up from the bottom, and that's when they'll hit. So there you go, there's a mackerel. Nice Sierra mackerel. This second one of the morning already, so get them in the cooler, keep jigging, see what else we can pull up. We're marking a lot of fish, but they're not taking the jig. Looks like they're not hungry today. We're gonna move on. So not as much luck as we would have liked on the jig, but what we're gonna try is we're gonna head over to that river mouth over there with some live bait, throw it, and then see if we can get anything. So my bait's getting scared right now by a mackerel. Heard something jump back there too. Check it out, I reel it in. This is what's left of my bait. So that's a mackerel, you can tell, because it's cut in half. They got sharp teeth, they're toothy fish. I'm gonna switch this bait out. I'll chuck another live bait in, and then we're literally just trolling live bait to the river, and then we're gonna throw it there. So this was really just to see if we got a hit in between the jigging and the river, and there you go. That is a hit, I guess. So I got another bait fish right here. This is a herring, and that's the river mouth right there. Basically what happens right here is there's a lot of fish that hide out in the mangrove, and then as the tide drops, they're forced to come out because there's just no water there. You can see it's just mud. They're forced to come out, so they come out right here, and they're just hanging out by the river mouth till the tide comes back up, until they can go back into their mangrove. But meanwhile, while they're out here, we can fish for them, and it's only about 3-4 feet deep here, so we're just casting, and then our bait is hopefully swimming that way, and then that's where in all this shallow water there'll be snook, snapper, and other fish hiding. So that's what we're trying to get out right now. It's those fish that have been pushed out by the tide that are just hanging out there. All right, so right now we were throwing some baits out by the river mouth, but nothing was hitting, and then we came back out. We're a little far from the river mouth, and then something just hit this hand line. So fish on the hand line right now. All I'm doing is I'm keeping some constant steady pressure on it. And then, yeah, when it runs, look at that. I'm just letting it run, turning the hand line sideways and just keeping my thumb on the spool right there. And then once he tires a little bit, I can take some line. But then this is how we're doing it right now on the kayak. It's a good fish. It took some herring right now, but it feels decently sized, see? So in lieu of a drag system, this is how you do it. You just turn it, and if it wants to take line, I'm just letting it take line. And once it stops, we reel down on it, but with our hands. But important, because this mono isn't super heavy either, so you just got to find that right amount of pressure. And if he's taking more, if he's putting more pressure on it, then give him some line. But you can keep your drag as the thumb, so I don't have to just give him line. I can make him work for it a little bit. So got a knife right here, just because with the hand line it can be dangerous if you miss a loop and you get your hand wrapped like that, and you have a big fish on it, it starts pulling hard. You could go down there, and then this line, when it's being pulled hard enough, it's just like a knife, so it'll cut straight through. You just don't want to have to worry about any of that. If you have a knife, shoom, easy chop. Oh, there you go. See, so just keeping pressure on my thumb as it runs and just letting it run.
Here we go, hooked up on the first fish of the day on the hand line. How's it feel?
Good fish.
Good fish?
Good fish.
Wow.
Yep, there you go, taking some drag. Taking some hand line drag.
A lot of fish today.
Yeah, lots of fish today, but we just haven't had much luck on the jigs. But there we go. If there's a lot of bait around, as we saw jigging, you know, odds are you'll run into a predator. This is probably either a rooster or a jack. We'll have to see. It's hard to tell on a hand line. I don't know how to tell on a hand line. But the other day out here, we caught 3 jacks, and I spent a total of 2.5 hours just hooked up to fish. And they were all 3 good big jacks. If you want to check that out, just click right up there. But excited to see if we can land this guy on the hand line. Hand line is definitely much more direct contact with a fish. You know, you don't have a rod to absorb any of the shock or to do any of the heavy lifting, so it's really just you are directly feeling the fish. Lots of jellyfish in the water right now, so if I pull them up on the hand line, they're going directly on my hands. But worth it for a big fish like this. And you can see right now, just by pulling on this fish, Tosh and I are getting towed. You can see we're actually moving quite fast, and I'm just reeling down on this fish. Look at that, we're literally getting trolled or towed pretty fast, but at least I'm gaining steadily. On the rod it can be hard to gain a lot on fish, because you can put the drag all the way, and then when you reel, the drag will go off. But with this guy, manually, I do have a lot more force than with a rod and reel. All right, there we go. Big old jack on the hand line. That's old man in the sea style right there. And we're gonna get this guy released. Jurgen, this is for you again. Big kiss, and see you later, Jack. Nice. That's first fish on the hand line. We're gonna see, we might go to the beach, but we're gonna see if we can catch more fish today. All right, there you go. First fish of the morning, and now we're gonna try to get another one. So we got the hand line. We're just gonna let this guy swim out. I'm just keeping the hand line going right here. And I'm just holding this spool right now, just like this in my right hand. So if a fish hits, basically, I'm just gonna be able to go like that, and the line will start going out. I'll let it eat, and then boom, set the hook on him. But I just gotta be careful because right now it's just direct. So any fish that hits my bait, I'm just gonna feel a big tug right away. There's nothing absorbing shock. And look at my hand right now. You can see I got a couple of cuts, and this is just from the hand line, just from the line actually hitting so hard, so fast. When the fish pulled, I'd give it some line and slap pretty hard. So for it to actually break skin like that, you know, it's got to be a strong fish. Those jacks are insanely strong. Okay, so along with the hand line, we're gonna chuck this live bait out. Just flick it on out there. We got a rod, we got the hand line, and we're marking some fish down below. Looks like there's a good amount of mackerel around too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this jig out and see if we can catch some fish. Yep, that's a mackerel. That has to be a mackerel. You see that big hit? That is a mackerel hit right there. Boom, on the jig. Now it's not fighting much like a mackerel. Usually they have a bunch of those fast runs, but yeah, it's a mackerel. It's a snagged mackerel, but that's a mackerel. Damn, I thought this was a big old mackerel, but no, it's a small one. So I'm gonna get the release on this guy. There he goes. And just keep jigging because there's definitely fish around. All right, didn't even notice, but fish on here. Oh, monster barracuda. Yeah, perfect. Look at this. Ooh. Little barracuda. So barely even noticed I hooked this guy. We're gonna use him as bait. There, almost made an escape. But they often hang out in schools. So let's see if there's more down there. So the barracuda and the mackerel, those are two fish that are great bait for grouper. So Tosh actually had a grouper on earlier and it just broke him off. They're tough because they'll go straight down into rocks and try to break you off. But basically with this bait, we're just increasing our chances. Right now, we have hand lines out, we have live bait out, and just while we wait for a hit on that, we're just going at the grouper as hard as we can, marking a ton of fish down there, but it doesn't look like they want to eat. Yep, all right, got a grouper. We got a grouper, or at least we think it's a grouper, but fighting like a grouper, it's like you hook them and it's just weight, but it's a lot of weight, and you have to pull them up without letting them snag you in any sort of structure, because they also hang out over stuff like wrecks and very, very rocky bottoms. Right now, just don't let them go into any rocks, because that'll be the end of this braid and we'll lose him. Let's see, but once he's up above any kind of wreck, it's much easier, and he's coming up slowly but surely. But it is it's a big fish.
Please be a grouper.
Slowly but surely.
We worked so hard.
Yeah, no, we've literally been here all morning just drifting back and forth across this little pile of rocks or this wreck that's under us, looking for a grouper, but we haven't found it. And now
hopefully it's a grouper, not a catfish.
Maybe we have him on. Yeah, it could be a catfish. Yesterday or 2 days ago we thought we had a grouper, and it turned out to be a pretty nice catfish. Wow, but it's definitely heavy. Could be a catfish, huh? I haven't felt any rolls though. So catfish a lot of times do these crocodile-like death rolls, and you can feel it.
Big grouper.
Oh, it's a grouper?
It's a big grouper.
Okay. So we saw it's a grouper.
Big grouper.
Nice.
Really.
Nice.
Big grouper. Oh my god, this is the biggest one.
Oh, nice.
Alright.
Woohoo! That's a big grouper. That's a really nice grouper. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I was not expecting it that big.
Oh,
jeez.
Dude, this is the biggest one yet.
That's the biggest one yet?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. That's a big grouper.
Oh
that's awesome.
God.
It had a jig with that barracuda I caught earlier on it. Wow. And just look at this fish. So this is a Gulf coney grouper. Look at it. And it just looks completely bizarre. Look at that eyeball. Such a weird fish, but this is a really good grouper, just pulled up from the bottom with that bait and jig combo. There we go, good grouper. After all morning we found him, but that's why you just keep going, just persistence. And it was on that little barracuda that I caught. So that barracuda makes good bait, and this guy is just gonna be delicious. But look at that mouth. Look at that mouth. So food goes in there. It does not. Okay. Does not come out. But we're gonna avoid accidents. We're gonna put this guy right in the cooler because right now, if he flops out, Tosh might kill me. So look at that beautiful fish. Let's put him in the cooler. There we are. Look at that. Not sure it's fitting all the way. But
yeah, we got 4 mackerels on top of that.
There we go. They'll keep him cold. Beautiful. Look at this. Lunch, dinner, breakfast. Lunch, dinner, breakfast. Here's something again on the bait. So we got the drag set tight, as you can see, just because if it's a grouper or a catfish or something, you just gotta hammer it out. So right away the drag is tight, and then you can loosen it as you fight. But the important thing is to get whatever you get up off the rocks. So let's see what this guy is. Little grouper. Look at this. Mini grouper. So this is like that one we caught, except it's his grandkid. Yep. Ready? Yep. Nice. There we go. So he's off. We're gonna chuck that jig back down. So that little grouper was caught on a jig with barracuda. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna drop bait without a jig. I just got 2 dropper loops on here with hooks on them and a sinker at the bottom. So real simple rig. But look at this, we got a whole buffet of meats for whatever's down there, whatever grouper wants it. So we're gonna drop this down right there. And now once it's down there, I'm just gonna close my bail and I'm just gonna leave the line slightly tense. That means the bait is down there, but I can just wash that rod tip, and then if it goes down, I'll let, oh look, right now, okay, I felt a little bite, but whatever takes it, I'll let it take it for like 1 or 2 seconds, and then big hook set up. My drag is tight, and I'll just try to haul whatever hits all the way up. Oh yeah, GoPro, start recording. Maybe. Oh, we got something big on this. Oh, gotta tighten the drag. Gotta put the drag tight, because it can go in the reef. This is a good one. Oh yeah. And Tosh has a fish that took a whole barracuda skeleton, but it's in the wreck, so it's on the other rod. We're waiting to see if it comes out of the wreck, because right now if we pull too hard we'll just snap the line. This feels good though, and Tosh is on as well right now, double hookup, but this one feels big. This could be another grouper. Oh yeah, Tosh got a grouper. Nice on that jig. So we got like 3 fish on. One is in a reef, one has been pulled up, and then one is in the process. That's a grouper, but it looks like I was also snagged on Tosh's line, so it felt much bigger than it was, but it's not a bad size. I can see him up there. Damn, looks like the grouper are biting right now. We just hooked 3 grouper in like a minute after not getting any all morning and the last couple of days. Look at that. This is the grouper I just pulled up. Not as big as that last one, but still a nice size. And these guys are just lurking around down there in the rocks, waiting for anything to swim outside. And then they just gobble it up with that big old mouth on those little teeth. But look at this, really nice grouper. We're gonna keep him, and we're just gonna keep dropping bait down there to see if we can find some more. All right, there we go. Another grouper. Another grouper hit the bait right there. Let's see. And literally we've just been drifting the same pile of rocks over and over. So they're here. You just gotta put your bait in front of their face for them to hit. Yeah, I see it. There's a nice grouper. Nice, yeah, that's a good grouper on the jig. There we go, look at this. Another really nice grouper, 4th grouper of the day. So we're actually doing very well with the grouper. In the morning, it was not looking promising at all. But this guy is number 4. Nice, very, very cool fish. All right, we're heading back. That was a good day. We got, you know what? That morning did not have a lot of grouper, but the afternoon was full of grouper. And we got it done on the hand line. So really good day. You can see Tosh is actually putting the fish, making them fit in the cooler, because they wouldn't fit.
Absolutely full.
Yeah, between mackerel, snapper, and grouper, there's not much room. So we're gonna head back. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, comment, subscribe, share it, and until next time, tight lines.
See you guys.